Good morning to members of the media and the public, and we thank you for joining us for a press conference hosted by the Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Ralph Thorne. My name is Senator Andre, President of the Democratic Labour Party, and today we have with us at the head table Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Ralph Thorne, and Ms. Felicia Dujon, the Democratic Labour Party's candidate for the constituency of St. James North. So I'll turn over now to the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Ralph Thorne, who will give you the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Senator Worrell. Good morning to the media. Pleasure having you here. Good morning to Barbadians here in Barbados and in the Diaspora. We're here this morning primarily to introduce our candidate for the constituency of St. James North. And we want to send a message, not so much to the Barbados Labour Party, but to the public, the voting public, and the public that lives in Barbados and the public that maintains an interest in Barbados, and I refer to the diaspora, to send a message to them that this Democratic Labour Party is ready. We are demonstrating that readiness, and therefore we come to you today to introduce Miss Felicia Dujon some 12 hours after Mr. Hickson's letter was read in Parliament. I want to give the assurance that the circumstances surrounding Mr. Hickson's departure will not be a concern of ours. Our primary concern will be that of the people of Barbados, and particularly the people of St. James North. And I feel extremely proud to present to you this morning Miss Felicia Dujon. Let me just say a few words about Felicia. She lectures at the University of the West Indies, the Cayfield campus. She has lived in Barbados since 2003. Her entry into Barbados had been delayed, she tells me, due to 9/11, but she's been here for 22 years. And she is very much Barbadian. She holds a degree in philosophy and computer science. She is presently a PhD student in philosophy with concentration on African studies, and that is with the University of Free State in South Africa. She is not only an academic. Felicia is a family person. She's married and has two beautiful young sons. What ages?
They're 4 and 8.
4 and 8. Excellent. As I said, Felicia presently still lectures at the UWI. She's been doing that from 2009. She gained her master's in philosophy from Mona, Jamaica in 2007 to 2009. You've heard Felicia in advocacy on human rights issues, but the public has come to know Felicia as our spokesperson on education, a very activist spokesperson on education. So we feel proud, all of us in this party feel proud to introduce Felicia Dujon to you as your candidate for the constituency of St. James North. Now, I want to say as well that this election in St. James North will deal with national issues. And of course, the election will deal with local issues. But Barbados is not that big a country that you can disjoin national issues from local issues. And we know from our campaigning across Barbados, our canvassing across Barbados, that the main issues in this country, confronting the people of this country, have been cost of living. People are not doing well. People are not eating well. People's lives are stressed. People simply do not have enough money to chase after the high prices of goods in the supermarket. So cost of living has to be a major national issue. And joined with St. James North, we know it is a local issue in St. James North as well. We will not leave this discussion unless we tell you about crime. Crime is affecting every nook and cranny in Barbados, if not the actual incidents of crime. The fear that people are experiencing as a result of crime. And you know, we've had a government that has been in negotiation with the criminal element, and Barbadians have rebelled against that, and Barbadians continue to rebel against that. And this party and this election, under the stewardship of Mr. John, we will continue to highlight the issue of crime, government's malmanagement and mismanagement of the issue of crime, government's distance from the Barbados Police Service, and government's closeness to an element that is not desirable. We do not support that association. We do not support the access that that element has to the resources of the state, to the institutions of the state. We do not support it, and we are going to make that point clearly. Now, I have mentioned previously corruption, and people tend to believe that when you speak of corruption, that you have evidence of somebody's hand in the cookie jar. Corruption involves the abuse of power, using political power to further the interests of certain individuals or to further the interests of a party. Now, it is probably none of our business, but it is worth mentioning that Mr. John has come to this place after a difficult process of nomination. And we admit that. Over the next few days, you will hear of an election for a pope. And that is not done by lineage, that's not done by inheritance. There's a conclave of bishops, and it is contentious. And until the senior cardinal walks onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica and says it in Latin, Habemus Papam, we have a pope. Prior to that, it is a protest. It's a process of contest between various persons who are interested in the office of becoming a pope. Perhaps in politics, we are no different. We do have contests for the position, for the nomination, except that here in this, there are people in the Barbados Labour Party, while it remains none of our business, but this is an invitation to you media to treat these things with parity, with fairness. And we come to you and say that we have come to the selection of Ms. Dujon after a process of contest between Ms. Dujon and another person. We do not deny that. While it is probably none of our business, we want the media to make it their business to examine the circumstances under which Mr. Blackman has come to the office of Barbados Labour Party candidate. We happen to know that over the last few years, Mr. Hinkson had appointed as his successor a young lady called Dr. Reed. I'm going to give you the name, Dr. Reed. And that Dr. Reed had been canvassing, according to our information, the constituency of St. James North. And that one morning you woke up and heard that Mr. Blackman was going to be the candidate. We are not aware that the branch endorsed this. We are not aware that there was any activity among the branch members of the St. James North branch of the Barbados Labour Party. We are not aware of that. We are aware, however, that when you anoint a candidate from on high and give him the further prestige and privilege of ministerial office, you are doing that to give him advantage not only over Miss Dujon, but to give him advantage over the discarded Dr. Reed. So there are two ladies who are featuring here, and this gentleman has been elevated. Now I want to say to you, that is an abuse of power, because you are using ministerial office to enhance the prospects of a candidate who may or may not have had any connection with the constituency of St. James North. Doesn't matter to us how Mr. Hinkson feels about this. It doesn't matter to us how Dr. Reed feels about this. But we want you to examine these circumstances so that you have an appreciation of the government's attitude towards its power and the way in which the government manages its power. I am saying to you today that that constitutes an abuse of power to enfranchise somebody with ministerial office, to give them advantage not only over their partisan opponent, but an in-house opponent who had been canvassing and who has been discarded. That is an abuse of power. So that corruption also extends to the misuse of public funds, and we have referred to the donation, giving of monies to members of a criminal element. That has now become beyond dispute. That certainly Mr. Lane demits office, and he says that he passes a difficult office to his successor, Mr. Humphrey. And one of the first announcements Mr. Humphrey makes is that he's going to meet with gang leaders. The leader with whom Mr. Humphrey ought to have met was the leader of the Barbados Police Service. And Barbadians do have confidence in the Barbados Police Service to pursue the issue of crime. But for some reason, this government believes that the interests of Barbadians are better served if they have a better relationship with leaders of that element rather than with the leader of the Barbados Police Service. So again, corruption extends to all those activities of the government. On the issue of corruption, let me come quickly to the Auditor General. I think the Nation newspaper carries a very extensive report today, and we want to thank them for that. Speaking of the pending or the retirement of Mr. Lee Trotman as Auditor General, we want to pay tribute to Mr. Trotman as an upstanding public servant who has not served partisan interests. In a very pure manner of service, he has served the interests of Barbadians. And whichever government has been in power, Mr. Trotman has had the professional integrity and the courage, because anybody functioning in the public service now certainly needs integrity. You certainly need courage. And we want to commend Mr. Trotman for having both courage and integrity in the quality of service that he has given to this country, for the quality of reports that he has consistently brought to this country, exposing government's financial impropriety. And the latest report is that of Hope. We're not going to go into Hope in any great detail today, but we want to thank Mr. Trotman for the Hope report. One may say it is his swan song, and his swan song does not speak well of this government's activity in relation to housing. And we want to say to you that government's impropriety, financial impropriety, is not limited to Hope, that it extends across several enterprises in which the government has been involved. Now, so congrats to Mr. Trotman for years of service and years of good service. We want to ask the government to ensure that Mr. Trotman is well replaced. I've met him at PAC meetings before the government broke them up. I met his deputy at PAC meetings. I found both of them to be persons of honor and integrity. On one of those latter meetings, before government broke up the PAC, by refusing to allow us to investigate Hope, Mr. Trotman made a plea to us for more staff. He said that the department is understaffed. This department is a constitutional office. This department, on behalf of the people of Barbados, inquires, investigates government spending. This is an extremely important department. As I said, it's constitutional office. It is there to defend the integrity of the people's money. It is the people's money. It is not government's money. So that the Office of Attorney General is an extremely important office, and it must be protected. The integrity and the dignity of the office must be protected. And the integrity and the dignity of the office has been undermined by government's continued refusal to staff the department properly. Mr. Trotman has endured and existed in very adverse circumstances. He does not have enough accountants in there. At one point, we even discussed the possibility of bringing in university students, accounting students, to assist him during their summer recess. It is as bad as that. So we bring to the public the news that that department is understaffed, that while government is paying money to people to do all kinds of things in this country, all kinds of things, that they are neglecting these public and these constitutional institutions. That's what they're doing. So we must not have the Office of Auditor General understaffed. because when it is understaffed, the people of Barbados are not being treated well. The people of Barbados are being cheated if you continue to have that department understaffed, because it means that the government can run amok with the people's finances and run amok without scrutiny, without supervision, without investigation. Hopefully, the election of Mr. John will restore dignified parliamentary conduct. I'm going on now to a different topic. And I want to tell you, media, that you heard the government's responses last year when I replied to the budget. You heard them again. And the people in Barbados have protested at the quality of the speeches that are coming from the government. The government is displaying a level of parliamentary conduct that is really appalling. And I don't say this because I can. I am going to invite you, members of the media, I'm going to invite you, members of the public, to go on YouTube and look at a speech made yesterday, and I'm going to call his name. I'm going to call his name because with the kind of behavior that Colin Jordan displayed yesterday, he is not entitled to anonymity. At the end of a speech in which he responded to something that the Attorney General brought in there about national honors, a lot of hypocrisy and so on, I responded and I made the point that I did not take it seriously, this question of national honors, because it is incongruous to be in there speaking loudly about national honors when you can't bring a constitution and when you can't bring a Republican constitution. Honors are essentially elitist, and honor that is not conferred democratically, honor that is not conferred by the people, honor that is conferred by a small group of persons, sometimes a prime minister. I really find it difficult to take that seriously. And I was bold enough to say that. He felt that he should respond to me and defend the Attorney General, who I said to the Attorney General, I don't take that legislation seriously, and I look forward to the 10th legislation. Now, they seem to be backpedaling on the 10th legislation, but the people of Barbados are waiting, because rather than fight crime, you intend to fight 120,000 people in Barbados who have tint on their car windows, and I say that to him. But the point I want to make is this. In responding to me, Mr. Colin Jordan, and I won't tell you what he does on weekends, you will find that out. Towards the end of his speech, certainly within the last 3 to 5 minutes of his speech, go and look on YouTube today. He used the word in describing me that I would not even use in this forum. It's a word that begins with W, and that was his description of me. And he then led up to it by saying, look, this word is contained within the scriptures. And he then used that word. And as I always do, I started to pack my bags, because I will not sit in a parliament that has descended into that kind of unparliamentary conduct. We should not do it. So when I was proceeding to leave, I think he felt embarrassed and he quickly wrapped up. But I'd say that to say to you that parliaments, the conduct of the government in parliament really is appalling. That you have a man of Mr. Jordan standing outside of parliament, coming into a parliament and using that word that begins with W to describe a parliamentary colleague. And we bring Mr. John to you today to say that that kind of conduct will be rejected. We will spurn that kind of conduct. And we're going to ask the people of St. James North to treat this election as a defining moment in which St. James North has the opportunity to make 2 statements. To make a statement that it wants sound representation in the parliament, to say that it wants dignified conduct in a parliament, and secondly, to treat this as a defining moment in which the people of St. James North will have the opportunity, on behalf of the people of Barbados, to preserve parliamentary democracy. I will not make any secret of the fact that there is a heavy parliamentary imbalance, but at the risk of being immodest, that is numerical imbalance, because I think that we managed to acquit ourselves reasonably well. And the hostility and the inclination to insult is really becoming worse. Inclination to insult. So I invite you again, go to YouTube, listen to Mr. Colin Jordan's speech yesterday, and I think it is within the last 3 minutes of that speech when he uttered a word that is unparliamentary, it is insulting, it is beneath the expectations of a man who holds the office that he holds, not only his political office, but the other office that he holds within the parish of St. Peter. And I have come here this morning to reject that. And I've come to say that I don't think he's entitled to any anonymity in relation to his behavior yesterday, but let us focus less on him and focus less on the outstanding young lady that we have brought to you this morning, the outstanding young lady that we bring to the constituency of St. James North, the outstanding young lady that we bring to the people of Barbados, both here and in the diaspora. So it is the pleasure of all of us who sit here with you. We have several spokespersons representing this party. I want to say to you how proud I am of this group of young, energetic, conscientious, well-educated, and I don't say that, to diminish anyone, but we have a group of very fit Barbadians who we will bring to the public of Barbados to represent this party and to represent the people of Barbados when the time comes. They are here this morning. I'm not going to call all of the names. The lady of the moment is Miss Felicia Dujan, and I will now ask Felicia to introduce herself more than I have done by way of statement to the people of St. James North and to the people of Barbados. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Leader, Comrade President, and to my fellow colleagues. Good morning, and thank you for being here to support me. Good morning, Barbadians. Good morning specifically to the constituency of St. James North. It is a constituency that has embraced me from the very first day I landed my feet in Barbados. I want to thank you for that time that you took to nurture me, to protect me, and to guide me. And at this opportunity, I wish to thank everyone to be here to represent you. And it is my purpose here to be sure that I'm here to give you the type of representation that is needed. For the past few weeks, I have observed, I have walked into the constituencies, I have spoken to you within the constituency and have heard your concerns. These are concerns that you've had for the last 15 years. These are concerns that you've had for the last 7 years under this government. This government is a government that does not listen to the cries of its people. This is a government that does not believe in transparency. This is a government that does not believe in accountability. And we have seen that in how they have handled, in other words, mismanaged the education system in this country. We have seen even today that 2 schools were closed. On the eve of the reopening of school, 2 schools were closed, while the Minister of Education, it doesn't seem too concerned that some students had to stay home today. So these are kinds of matters that we need to focus on and remain resolute in our concerns regarding the constituency. So it is with deep gratitude, thank you, Comrade. It is with deep gratitude that I want to thank not only the party, the Democratic Labour Party, my family, my colleagues, my friends, and also my family, but also to the constituency of St. James North. I know I'm a very little lady, but we know that I will work hard on your behalf. We know that I will advocate on your behalf. You know that I am not terrified in any way by the bullies that tend to want to make laws and infringe upon your rights the rights of your children, the rights of the youth, the rights of the elderly. I have met elders in the constituency that have been waiting over 12 years for surgery. This is unacceptable. This is inhumane. And this is a constituency that has been governed by the same administration. We need a time for change. And when we talk about change, it does not necessarily mean in terms of who the individual needs. We need change in terms of how we think and how we treat persons within the constituency. We need a change in terms of someone that actually listens to you, and not someone that is only there for grandstanding, for photo ops, or being given instructions by someone who works in the background. We need someone who actually cares, who will walk the walk with you, not only doing the talking, but walk the walk, and who's not intimidated by anyone within this society. I will continue to stand and represent your interests. St. James North, I am not new to your constituency. I have lived in your constituency. I was part of your constituency. You made me feel at home. You protected me. You guided me. And it brings nothing or more joy to me but to represent you at this juncture in our society. This country is at a crossroads, and we have to stand and rise against the tyrannical government that we have, a government that does not take into accountability, a government that does not believe in transparency. As far as they're concerned, we have won the government, so we do not have to respond to you.
Correct.
We do not have to hear your cries. We do not want to take any kind of consultation from you. But St. James North, and by extension, the people of Barbados, I will stand on your behalf. I'm not even 5 feet tall. I will stand on your behalf. I will stand and ensure that my voice is heard on your behalf. I will ensure that I do the required work, the research that is needed for policy development and management of our society. I will look into your constituency as I have. For the past few weeks, that is what I've been doing, like I have done for the children of this country. I always ensure that regardless of what is said, I go in and I observe and I listen. I listen to your cries, and I also want to hear what are some of the solutions, the possible solutions. I'll give you a very simple example. On Saturday, I was in the constituency, and the constituents took me to the zone. And I think most of you know where the zone is. And the kinds of roads that I saw there, it hurt my heart. You've had a representative for almost 15 years. But I'm seeing the Barbados Labour Party's representative driving in this big Jeep, because you can't walk there. You can't drive there. And these are the kinds of issues I think that we need to recognize, the issues that touch the hearts of people. I have met with some of the single parents, both mothers and fathers, their concerns, their children in schools and not being able to afford to send their children to school. I have heard your concerns about transportation in the constituency, the late nights, and let's not talk about the flooding in those environments. I used to live in Western. I know what it's like when we have torrential rains. The farmers in the constituency, I've heard you, Paul. I'm also a farmer. And so we are there to provide the support for you. The fisher folk, I have spoken to you and we will meet with you very soon. We know what they have done with the new fishing village, and we'll be coming to you and speaking with you to help alleviate some of the concerns that you have. There's a number of other concerns in terms of housing for young families within the constituency. And to the youth, I want to say to you, there is hope. Do not allow the Barbados Labour Party to think that only cleaning the streets is what that you're capable of doing. I know better. You know better. I see greater in every constituent that I have met over the past few weeks, over the past few years. So do not allow them to misguide you that I do not know the constituency. My big brother is from the constituency, and he's taken me in every noonie and cranny in that constituency. So I want to thank you. I want to thank the party, and I will be coming to the constituency every single moment. I have, as I said before, I have my boots. I've always had them. And I will fight the very same way that I fight for children within this country. I will fight for mothers. I will fight for the elderly. I will fight for the youth. I will fight for the professional persons, the entrepreneurs within the constituency, the businessmen and women. And most importantly, I will fight for the rights of all citizens. My style of leadership is that we come to you. We come to serve you. I am not being paid or be given special priority. I'm not being given any title or any form of entitlement to serve you. I am doing it out of duty because I believe that you have the right to be represented. I believe that you have the right to be heard. Too often and for too long, you have been silenced. I wish to advise the persons of St. James North, this is your time. This is your time to right the wrongs that have been done to you. I will stand with you. I will be there to support you. Do not allow them to tell you things that you know deeper and greater within yourself. I will come to you as I've done in the past, and I will inform you. I will be transparent, and I will be, most importantly, I will be honest with you. Because honesty is what creates character, something that we haven't seen in this government. It is your opportunity to show all Barbadians that we can stand up and rise and do the right thing, not only for ourselves, but for the future of our children. Our children deserve better. They deserve to live in a society which is free from violence and, most importantly, the fear of violence. When you hear 13-year-olds dying or being incarcerated because of those violent crimes, it affects every member of our society, including members from the constituency of St. James North. So please open your hearts and open your doors. I need your support. If there's one time I'm coming to you, not only as a citizen of this country, as a mother, as a teacher, and as a neighbor, and as a friend, I need your help. I cannot fight this battle alone. You see what they've already said about me in the media by the political analysis. They have said that I do not have a chance, but it is left up to you. They forgot about you. They forgot that you have the power to change that. You determine the outcome of this election. They have ignored you because they do not believe that you have a voice. But your voice will resonate for the entire Barbadian populace and perhaps throughout the region, that we will stand up. But as I've said before, we do not come with money. We come with morality. We come with courage. Because as far as most of the members of the Barbados Labour Party and those who support them, I do not stand a chance. But they're not God. And they're not you. And I will stand with you, and I'll be there with you, with your approval and with your confidence, and we will walk where we need to walk, and we will rise without fear. I thank you, and I look forward in working with you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, yes.
And good morning to all. And as you can see, the Democratic Labour Party is ready with a candidate that sounds as though she is ready to take the lead in government and also to represent the constituency of St. James North. So we are looking forward to your support for our comrade Felicia Dujon. And to show our readiness, the party will continue on its canvassing on Saturday with a mass canvass in the constituency of St. James North. on Saturday evening at 2:30
Two.
at 2 p.m. We'll be having a mass canvass in the constituency of St. James North, and we're inviting all Democratic Labour Party members and supporters to come join us. Come show your support for Ms. Felicia Dujon as we take to the streets in the constituency of St. James North to show the people of Barbados that we hear their concerns. We know that they're concerned about the crime situation. We know that they're concerned about the corruption in government. We know that they're not happy with the level of representation which they're getting in this country. And we know that they want change and they want better. And we believe that Felicia Dujon is the first step in bringing better to the people of Barbados. And the Democratic Labour Party gives her our fullest support.
Thank you. Anybody?
At this time, we will invite the members of the media who are present with us today to put any questions which you may have to Ms. Dujon or the political leader, Ralph Thorne,
Or the president?
or the president of the Democratic Labour Party, if you so choose.
Shanna Moore, Barbados today. You said that should have gone through, Mr. Jean would have gone through contest, the selection period.
Yes.
Do you mind saying who she was up against and what gave her that edge?
No. She's here. That's important. I'm not sure when they choose the Pope, when the Cardinal says Abemus Papam, I don't think he refers to the other contestants. But we are here with Ms. Dujon. But we felt that we should be honest with you and by way of contrast, demonstrate that our processes are democratic as opposed to the Barbados Labour Party, and we invite you to make that inquiry. They have foisted Mr. Blackman on a process in which the people may be somewhat disappointed. And I invite you to speak to Dr. Reid. Hold Dr. Reid in a moment in which she will speak with you honestly, as I'm sure she will do. And she may indicate to you that she was supplanted by prime ministerial intervention at the highest level to install a man who knows nothing about St. James North. Yes, Ms. Weeks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Marcia Weeks from the Marcia Weeks Show. Let me just congratulate you, Mr. John, on this. Question for you. You have been canvassing in the area?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell us what is the feeling on the ground in St. James?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Mrs. Weeks. And I also thank you, Mrs. Weeks, for the question. And I also want to thank you for the journey because you were one of the first persons who stood with me during the child protection bill that this government was trying to pass at the time. So yes, in terms of the feel on the ground, the constituents are concerned in terms of who the representative for the Barbados Labour Party and the process that was taken, as Comrade Leader have said. And so their concern has stemmed not only for that, but also in terms of how they have been treated over the past few years. They've had concerns in terms of the healthcare facilities, the long waiting periods in there. They have called for advocacy in terms of getting someone to advocate on their behalf because there's really a lone public polyclinic in the area. And so we have a lot of elderly persons, persons with disabilities, and their concerns are real concerns. As I said before, I've met a lot of elderly persons who are at home. And the interesting factor of it is that there are a lot of retirees in the constituency as well. And some of them do not have children that will help them and assist them. And so their concerns are real concerns. It brings to perspective a humanitarian approach. And I think the interventions are needed. And that is why I believe as a human rights advocate, where my skills and my awareness of those issues, where it comes in, because I believe that there's a sense of health justice that is needed, that we as the Democratic Labour Party has to take such matters seriously. When you have someone at home alone, waiting 12 years for surgery, or you have family members that do not have access. Another matter that raises concerns for them as well is the number of abandoned buildings, abandoned homes in the constituency that raises a risk for safety. So we have a lot of women within the constituency that concerned about that as well. And I think that's questions that have been raised as well. Youth employment and empowerment, there's not much to do in terms of that, and the opportunities that supposed to be represented for them. I believe that I spoke in terms of the infrastructure, road infrastructure. That is a very, very serious concern for persons within the constituency as well. And not forgetting the overarching concern in terms of schools, children, school students. What is the concern? Parents are still concerned in terms of educational reform, not hearing much from the minister in that regard. Parents have still been awaiting for that. So there is a number of concerns in there, and particularly single parents. And of course, as all families have concerns in terms of cost of living, how will they make it to the next day, living from paycheck to paycheck? Very serious concerns in those constituencies. And one of the things that I also want to add, it's a very vibrant constituency. So you have professional persons in there, but you also have farmers. There's lots of farmers in there. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for commerce in terms of that as well. Most welcome.
Yeah, and tonight, one of the nation newspaper, and my question relates to when the Barbadian public see the full list of candidates for the DLP, considering that we're about 2 years away from when general elections are constitutionally due.
We have named 15 so far. Antoinette, we have ratified more. I think we're in the 20s in terms of ratification, but you will try to understand that a party that is attracting the interest of so many, obviously we have a number of persons now wishing to be candidates. So we're going through that process. We probably could have a full slate, I would think, within a matter of weeks. I said weeks as opposed to months, but we will have and can have a full slate within a matter of weeks.
Can we expect, we know about the 15 are, can we
Yes.
expect to see some former DLP candidates on the upcoming list?
This is something you're insisting on.
And that is
The full team will reflect what you see before you. Fresh, young, vibrant, devoted faces. We are going forward. We are going forward. And we are responding to a Barbadian request. Barbadians want to see us being futuristic, being modern, and being progressive. Not that others have not been, but we are meeting the request of Barbadians in terms of coming with a team that looks as if it can take on the future.
So,
You want names, right?
basically.
No, we can't give you names. Oh, President reminds me that at the zone meeting on Sunday, we will announce a further 7 candidates, which will bring us to 22. Yeah. 22, 23, 23, 23.
so you're aiming at party renewal.
Excellent. You should work with us.
So if this is your priority, party renewal, right?
I didn't say that's my priority. I said you should work with us.
You're saying that, are you aiming at party renewal? Yes or no?
We are a progressive party. We are a progressive party. We are forward looking. And we think that we should come with a party that is new, fresh, and exciting.
Even if it means.
But we do have, as you know, in fact, Ms. Connell knows, we do have some persons on this team who are from a past administration.
So the other.
So it's a blend. It's a blend. I hate cliches, but it is a blend.
So can we expect to see the others like Michael Dashley and the others on the campaign trails?
Oh, well, the best person to ask that is Mr. Lashley. Ask Mr. Lashley if he will be on the campaign trail, but we are not here to discuss Mr. Lashley, though. As to whether Mr. Lashley campaigns, that's purely his decision. We don't have any despots in here. We don't force people to do things. You're welcome.
Any other questions from the media? Anything from CBC?
CBC is here?
No, I noticed that they are conveniently absent.
Oh.
Can I just
Yes,
ask
Marcia, please.
Mr. John another question? I'm very big on representation. That if you are the candidate or you know, that you actually represent the people well. What if someone listening from St. James North, it is?
Yes.
What is your overall vision for that constituency?
This is a good question. As I said before, I think because of the diversity of the constituency, I think there's a lot more in terms of development, business development, not only for the youth, but to also incorporate other types of business and venture. So we have seen a society that seem not to appreciate agriculture within their area. And I think agriculture-based fishing industry, bringing those kinds of network together, getting the youth involved is very important because it's the way the constituencies has it been set out. You have the coastline and then you have the inland. And I think there's a lot of development that can be done in terms of that. And so the party is working in terms of what kinds of policies that we want to enhance and develop in terms of that. Business management is very important in terms of leadership, women's leadership, empowerment. And I think it's very important that we do have that discussion because what we're seeing is that me as a female candidate, the kinds of voice, I think the voice of the woman is also important in those perspectives. And I think the mother voice, I would say, it is very important to share that and to look at the society, to look at the community and see it as a family base. And I think that is something that we need to reach out to families because the families are really the ones that are hurting directly. And I think we have to reach out to those families. We have to reach out, whether it's extended or nuclear family or single parent families. I think we really need to reach out to them and see what are the concerns are. But most importantly, to see what we can do for our young persons, our youth and our children, because they are practically the future, but also the elderly and how we can work with them and liaise with them. But not to isolate the constituency only, but because you have other constituencies close by as well. It is primarily to working with them and see what is available. What I think is also very important, and it really touched me while I was walking through the constituency, that the number of families that are looking for homes. And that is very important. So land acquisition, home ownership is a very important priority for persons within that constituency. We have to find a way as a society to, because when you have young families, they're looking for homes. They're looking for homes. And I think this is something that we as a party will look into as well in terms of providing home ownership. So it's not only in terms of business and commerce, but how do we bring families together and how do we make families more productive within their own space and also to keep families together. I think that's very important.
So just a follow-up.
Yes, sure.
How is this going to be communicated to the residents? And the reason I ask that is that oftentimes, we see our representatives at a certain time. We don't understand what you're saying here is wonderful, but as a resident, I'm figuring, okay, how do I get to hear this? Or how do I get to buy into this vision? I mean, so that's for me as a citizen, as a resident in a constituency, I think that is important.
And I think that's one of the things that we should do is in terms of how we allow communication to be explored within the constituency. We have to communicate, whether it's on a grassroots level, whether we go through the schools, community levels, whatever sports club that they have, but we have to reach the people. We cannot live in a society where we're not allowing them to speak and for us to hear what their concerns are. As I said before, you're seeing the disconnection within this government and constituents, where they come in, they roll in with their big jeeps, and it seems that it is separate from the community. We need to reach out to persons. We need to walk. We need to put the right shoes on, and we need to go into the communities and find out who they are. We cannot just go through the voters list and say, okay, well, this person is going to vote DLP, this person. We have to know exactly who that person is, what are the concerns, and what are the dreams and aspirations of that person. I think that's very important. We have to see the humanity in every voter in that constituency. And I think this is the way that you get persons, that you speak directly to every constituent. Every constituent is a Barbadian, and we have to hear their voices. We have to know what the concerns are, so that when we know what the concerns are, we will know what the needs are. And when we know what the needs are, we'll be able to have policies that will guide and help those persons flourish in their communities.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much to the meeting. Now we just
I
have
do have one
one.
word.
Sure.
This is to the leader of the opposition.
yes.
You know, you're in parliament, and you always say you're alone but not alone.
Correct.
And so
In there.
And but I wanted to on behalf of the others of us who chair on the opposition, I want to hear from you. How would this addition, say you're looking ahead, and Mr. John is able to join the opposition in Parliament?
Yes.
How does that change the dynamic, and what does she bring to the? You think she would bring to the?
Yes,
table?
you've heard her. It would be a dream come true. Yeah, I would love. Look, yesterday I was sitting in there, and they started to tease about the meeting that we called. They knew that as soon as Hinkson's letter was read, I got on the phone with our people and told them, let's do this meeting this evening. Let's bring our team together. Had an excellent turnout, by the way, of persons who are volunteering to work in the campaign. And sometime last year, late last year, a seat curiously appeared next to me in Parliament. And I had my suspicions as to why they put it there. I think they were anticipating another crossing of the floor. I think they were. But what I do with that seat, I put my briefcase in it. And yesterday, when they were teasing me about the meeting, I touched this chair and said, somebody come in here just now. And they laughed, but I think they were a little embarrassed, and they are afraid at the prospect. And Ms. Weeks, we intend to strain every sinew to ensure that this young lady occupies that seat to my left, so that 2 seats in there would be filled with good, decent people. And in the Senate, we will continue to have Senators Worrell and Senator Walters. But it is a dream. And I think it would serve the interests of Barbadians well to have a parliament that has greater numerical balance. I don't doubt my ability to take them on, all 28 of them, since I leave the speaker out of it. But with Felicia's quality and qualifications, she would be an excellent addition. I would love to go in there with Felicia every Tuesday, Thursday, whenever they call. I would love to be in there with Felicia.
Thank you. I was just giving Miss Weeks a chat. Okay. All right. So before we end the press conference, I just have to do some housekeeping matters in terms of some announcements, which I'm certain that the media would also be interested in as well. As you know, the Democratic Labour Party celebrates its 70th anniversary on the 27th of April, which is this Sunday coming. But leading into that, on Saturday, we already announced that we'll be having our mass canvass in the St. James North constituency, and that we call those community connections. And our meeting point will be Pizza Man Dock in Speightstown. So all those persons who are interested, you can telephone the Democratic Labour Party at 547-0710 and indicate your intention to be a part of the canvass. Also, if you need transportation as well to get to Pizza Man Dock in Speightstown, just call us and let us know so that we can mobilize our full team and a full support to get to Pizza Man Dock, to get to the St. James North constituency on Saturday for 2 p.m. So that will be one of our first activities for our 70th anniversary. Then we continue on Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. at Restoration Ministries, Gunsight Road, Britons Hill. where we join the congregation there for our 70th anniversary church service. Now, as this is the 70th anniversary of the Democratic Labour Party, we intend to make a do of this, and I'm certain that a win in St. James North will be a feather in the cap for the Democratic Labour Party as it celebrates its 70th anniversary. So we're inviting all Democratic Labour Party supporters, come and pray with us. Come worship with us on Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m., Restoration Ministries International, Gunsight Road, Britton's Hill, at 8:30 a.m. for the church service. We will have lunch at DLP headquarters after the service, and we're asking you to book for that lunch. The cost is $35. It's not a luncheon, so it's not a sit-down affair. The lunch will be there, so after the service, you can go to headquarters, collect the lunch. Some people would obviously line around as well. And the cost for that is $35, but we're asking you to book in advance. Again, you call 547-0710. That's the number for DLP headquarters to indicate, make your booking for the lunch on Sunday after the church service. We have a packed day on Sunday. We will be having a zone meeting. The Northern Zone will meet at the Alexandra Secondary School on Sunday evening for 5 p.m. And at that zone meeting, this is where I'm certain that the media and the rest of Barbados will be interested. We invite you all to come and see firsthand who will be in the next batch of candidates, which we will unveil at that zone meeting on Sunday at 5 p.m. at the Alexandra Secondary School. And of course, you already know one of those persons, which is our comrade Felicia Dujon. So you can get an opportunity to hear her on the political platform as well on Sunday. So we're inviting all of Barbados to join us you can join us for the mass canvas, you can join us for the church service, and you can definitely join us for the zone meeting on Sunday at Alexandra School. We are celebrating 70 years, and we are going to do it with a bang.
I didn't expect you to ask about candidate selection and the depth that you did, but let me assure you, no candidate has been selected by the president, no candidate has been selected by the political leader, no candidate has been selected by the general secretary. All candidates have been selected by a process in which the branches have met with a candidate selection committee, and every candidate that has been ratified has been recommended and nominated by the branches. And I made that point earlier to contrast with the situation in which Chad Blackman was in all likelihood elected by the leader of the Barbados Labour Party. No, I repeat, no candidate was selected by the leadership of this party. Every candidate was selected by the branches after interview with the branches. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for the members of the media and for those of you viewing in Barbados and within the diaspora for joining us this morning for this press conference hosted by the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Ralph Thorne. Do have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So guys, this was the some of the people here today at the DNC. Sorry about that earlier. Hope you can still hear me, guys. So this is Adrian Bascom. Good afternoon, sir. What are your thoughts?
Felicia Dujon.
Huh?
What Felicia Dujon? What for change? Vote for better.
Can you hear him? Can you speak a little louder?
Vote Felicia Dujon. Vote for change. Vote for better. Vote DLP.
Hello. Wow. I see a well-dressed, these two distinguished gentlemen here, and they came out today. Sir, can you first of all tell us your name and why you came out today?
I'm Ainsley Granger,
Yes.
and I come up to give support to the leader and to Mr. John,
And to Mr.
and
John.
a member of this party. And I stand solidly behind the leadership of this party, the leader of this party. And I give my wholehearted support to this party.
And gentlemen, can you give us your name and why are you here today? You could be at work. You look like somebody, you just got up from work and ran down here.
My name is Basil Rim, and I am here not just in support of the party, but in support of the leader as well, and Mr. John Servant. I will put my best foot forward in support of Mr. John and assist in any and every way that I can to ensure that she walks the steps of Parliament along with.
How important is that to you?
That's very important because as the leader spoke earlier, he spoke about the numbers in Parliament. It's time that I think that Barbadians should see it as priority to bring a balance to those numbers in Parliament.
Right.
That's very, very important. That's critical at this juncture
Yes.
in Barbados and society. You look around and see what's going on, and quite frankly, we are a ship before a rudder in terms of political guidance and governance. So
Yeah.
numbers are important.
Numbers are important.
Yeah,
Okay, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. And you see everybody here, they are, people are just chit-chatting and hanging around. And look who, listen, you walk right into me. You know you got to say something to the people.
Hi.
Yeah. And listen, I see you ran from work here, didn't you? Yeah. Well, how important is this for you that you felt you needed to be here today?
Of course, it's very important. It's important for a lot of things. And I believe that one of the main reasons is, as the leader of opposition said, we need to improve and increase our advocacy on behalf of the people of Barbados. If not for our presence in the House and our presence in the Senate, Barbados would not do a lot of things that is going on in this country. And you have seen month after month all of the lobbying and all of the things that have been highlighted over the last 14 months are now coming to fruition in terms of the bad management, the mismanagement, and the corruption of this government. So I think it's very important to add to that. And I think that this is where Felicia and the St. James North by-election is very important for the Democratic Party and the people of Barbados.
People of Barbados. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Good. Listen, I haven't forgotten you, I haven't forgotten you. This gentleman is always smiling. I'm going to have to call him Mr. Smiley. Please pardon me, guys. So tell me, you're here today, and why are you here? Why did you come today?
I'm here to support this motion that for St. James North. We believe that she will be the winner.
Yes.
When the nomination day is supposed to be called, and when the verdict is given, Mr. John will be the jury representative for the constituency of St. James North.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you believe that. So you
People need change.
people need change.
Wherever you go, the people need change.
Yes.
This fact, they have lost confidence in the government.
In the government. Yeah.
They
Okay.
believe that they have been betrayed. The government has betrayed the confidence.
Yes. Okay. Well, great to see you again, sir. Yes, and this one here is nice and bright. I love this yellow. I've told you that before. And let me make sure you can see him. Yes, sir. So why are you here today?
I'm here to for the colleague, running in the St. James North election.
Yes.
So I think it's important to support for her. Show solidarity. So that's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. Okay, great. Great to see you. And that yellow looks great on you. Yeah. I see a young lady over here. Listen, man, I tell you, Paul, I tell you, look, I just gotta show the people. I gotta show the people. Ta-da! Who is there? Who is there? Yeah. This is our girl, Shaquani, she's too far away from us, far away from the loyal opposition. I know she's a candidate now, so I know she's very, very busy, and we're gonna have to give her space.
We're coming back soon. We're coming back very, very shortly.
So tell me, Shaquani, you came, you made sure you were here today. How important it was for you to be here today?
It was definitely extremely important. Not only as a candidate, but as a female candidate, we need to show our support. At this crucial time in Barbados, where everybody is frustrated, every time you open your phone, there's death, there's a killing, there's a shooting. People need hope. And with that, I think this by-election will do Barbadians very, very good. We need an opportunity for change, and with that, we need people to extremely, at this time, come out and support. We know they might be frustrated, they might be unsure, but without coming up, without showing that support, without giving Felicia that vote, we don't get a chance for change. And to be a part of change, we need to stand up. This is the time. And today, it was extremely important to come and show my colleague and the future representative for St. James North the support. And on Saturday, we will be out there on the streets with her because we know at this time she needs every single person.
So this is a united Democratic Labour Party.
Definitely.
Yeah. Wow. It's great, and you look fabulous.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, and you see all the refreshment. Listen. Come here, man. Listen. Listen. This is the man sharp like razor, man. Listen. Yeah, listen. So you came out this morning, man. You're here at the press conference. And what did you think of the press conference today?
Well, just to introduce the candidate.
Yeah.
And to assure the Bajans that we are ready. Everybody will have to say anymore. The other side will have to say what you can do, but we leave it up to God.
Yeah. Leave it up to God. And how did you think Mr. John presented herself today?
Well, Felicia, there's nothing new to Felicia. She just tells you she feels and she pokes your heart. Right? So it's nothing new to Felicia.
Yeah, this is what she does.
Yeah.
This is what she does.
We're accustomed doing something and go try. Just do it. Nike.
Yeah.
Just do it.
How important you think this is to Barbadians if she were to win and be an MP and be in Parliament representing the people of Barbados, increasing the number in the opposition. So forget about the DLP now, right? How important do you think that is?
It is very important. It just shows that one class does not have the right to tell the affairs of Barbados. Everybody deserves a chance. The carpenter, the person who's selling coconuts, everybody deserves a chance to represent Barbados. So if Felicia was to win, or when she wins, speaking perfectly, it would be good to see somebody other than the so-called champions, or they feel like the champions, so-called Goliaths, or Pharaohs.
Pharaohs, I love it.
Pharaohs. Somebody else, everybody deserves a chance.
Yes.
And Felicia deserves her chance.
Yes.
In the office.
In that office. And
She deserves her chance.
Well, I'm hearing somebody behind here. Let me hear her. Here, and you said her name is Esther. Is that Esther? Like Esther in the Bible? Can I sit there, sir? Can I sit where you're sitting? This is like Esther in the Bible, and
it's Democratic Labour Party.
Yes,
I am saying that, like everybody else, that needs a chance. It is Felicia's time. And she deserves that chance going up those stairs of Parliament. Whenever that election is called or general election.
Yes, yes.
I
And what
look
and
forward to seeing that.
how will that benefit? I know you think it's her chance.
Actually, is especially in the line of education, of and her passion.
You think that would help Barbados if she
very much the principles and the values that she has, and she's a very disciplined person. Maybe the Christian part of her would bring out that, but for me, she's very focused. And when you listen to her at all times, her focus is on the development of the youth in this country. And it's disappointing where they're going. What's causing it, most of us know, but we don't want to admit.
Right.
But at the same time, let Barbados give a chance to somebody else to do better than what is happening now.
Okay. Well, it's good to see you. I've always seen you, but I never had a chance to interview you. It's great. I love your green as well. I'm wearing green too.
I'm coming from a funeral.
From a funeral. Yes, and you made it. Important. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. It's been a great. Yes, yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
You see the job you're doing?
Yes, ma'am.
It's of God.
Oh, wow. Thank
You're
you.
blessed.
I'm
You're
hearing that from an Esther.
You're blessed.
Amen. Thank you, ma'am.
Keep walking that road.
Amen. Thank you.
God called you to this.
Yes, thank you.
And he called you at the right time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, I tell you, everybody's leaving, and you know, Adrian is here, you know, snacking away. But this is the room where it all happened, and they are on their way out, and everybody's going. I just wanted to kind of give you behind the scenes this morning. And that's me there. And so I'm going to see you tonight, and we're going to obviously be looking at this a little bit more. We're going to go a bit more in details tonight. We're going to, I promise that we're going to try to get some more details about this Miss Green. And so we're going to have that kind of conversation tonight to know about the other candidate that did not, that the BLP basically, as we were told, supplanted so that, you know, the other candidate, you know, they could put forward this gentleman that they have, you know, decided that that's the candidate, as we were told today, that that person was anointed. And so we're going to find out some more about that. And we're going to bring that and more to you later this evening at 7 o'clock. So make sure that you're tuned in. Okay. God bless you. And bye-bye. Have a great, great, great day. It's a pleasure. I love coming to you all in the day. I need to have a daytime show. All right. God bless you all and have a great, great day. See you at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Anybody who would have, as he was saying, the Barrow generation.
So, yeah.